we're going to go here and talk about Compass Star for just a minute, if you will please humor me. So as part of this week, I'm determined I'm going to produce some digital products that people can download, and I'm going to make a few freebies. Hopefully today I can make another one. But I wanted to make a checklist because a lot of the things that I want to help people simplify, and that's part of my mantra, is helping people make stuff easier, is one of the things I run into is email marketing. Email is so powerful. So I wanted to make a quick checklist, and I wanted to kind of run through this with everybody, and you can kind of tell me what you think. Because I think it's super powerful, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are struggling with email marketing because they're like, it's just one thing, like I just need to get it out, throw it off my plate, and stop thinking about it. And that's what happens. There's no follow-up, there's no follow-through. So here's my quick take and checklist on what I think is really critical for email marketing. And here's the quick summary. What's the reason? Like, why are you sending this email? And you can download this on the Compass Tower website. I'll provide a link, and you can kind of download it for free. I'm getting sidetracked. Here we go. What's the reason for the email? Are you just being asked to send it? Are you trying to generate leads? What are you trying to do? Like, is doing a webinar announcement? Event? What are you trying to accomplish? Like, think really about like, what's the reason and who's this going to and why? And if you can help answer those questions before you start making the email and sending stuff, like, it'll help simplify like the content. Because I think a lot of people are afraid, like, I'm going to email this and it's going to go out to so many people and I need to shove everything in it. Like, I need the whole kitchen sink. Well, my take is each email needs to be on one subject, have one call to action, and go to one specific buyer. Right? And that's the thing that I think is really critical, is a lot of people are not focused with their emails because they're trying to accomplish so much with one piece of content. And I call it content because an email is content. You're producing something in a contained system and delivering it. That's a piece of content. Right? So the most important thing you can think of when you're doing these initial stages is, if I was to receive this, what's in it for me? Right? What's in it for your customer? What are you hoping to get them out of it? What action do you want them to take? And that's exactly where I start. I want readers to feel informed, entertained, seen, connected, inspired. You want to feel urgency. And now I phrase it this way. I want my readers to feel, because, I know this sounds cheesy, but your readers, your email people who are opening the emails need to feel something. Like, because emotion is going to be driving that next action, and you need them to do something. It's not just, I'm going to inform them. Inform them to do what? What's the next step? You need to be able to get them to feel something so that they'll feel inspired to do something. So for example, I have a weekly newsletter. I need them to trust me, to hire me as their consultant. Well, if you're sending that weekly email, I need them to feel informed with the latest and greatest information. So I need them to feel knowledgeable, feel like they have something to share in the office, feel like they've learned something. So that's all content pieces, right? But what are you asking them to do now that they feel informed? Do you want to have them feel informed enough to be like, wow, that guy really knows what he's talking about. I should hire him. Or I want them to feel like, he's my trusted source about fly fishing. Maybe I should hire him to be my fishing guide. Things like that. Same thing. It's always going to be thinking about emotion. If you're trying to drive a sale. So the next piece for this checklist is email subject line, the from line, inbox snippet, and lists. These are all kind of like behind the scenes technical things, but the most important thing that you need to take away is like, if I receive this, is it going to stand out in someone's inbox? Because let's say someone has 1 million emails. Not 1 million, but let's say someone has 100 emails that pop in. What are you doing to stand out? And it needs to be short, quick, to the point, and it needs to come from someone familiar. But anyways, understanding how those things affect how customers take action will help your emails perform better. Understanding it's a personal interaction. They've invited you in, and if you're not delivering on the promise that you've put in the headline, people get annoyed. People unsubscribe. People send spam flags. and that's going to hurt your distribution lists. And the other thing about distribution lists is you have to put in a lot of work to keep those clean, tight, and if people aren't interacting with your emails, they're not worth emailing. So pull them out. Pull them out as a marketing contact. Like, don't force it. And if they don't want to participate, they probably signed up to get a coupon and don't want it anymore. They got what they wanted. So do them a favor and unsubscribe, or try and re-engage them. Okay, so for the email body, this is like the meat and potatoes. You need to be really like super aware. Like, if you're going to be sending an email, it needs to be, like I said, one topic, one call to action, and one emotion, right? You need to get them to do a thing, one thing, learn a thing, do a thing. And I've been at jobs, especially this last job, where we would have lawyers write 3-4 pages worth of content about a specific thing. Okay, so they had that right. They had the one topic, but the delivery that they were trying to provide was enormous. That doesn't match the needs of the people who are trying to get the email. It should have been, like, we had this one guy who was a tax lawyer, and he had a very active list, so people wanted to hear from him. And he would write about one topic in his emails, which was great. So he's got 2 out of 3. Okay, 0 call to action, but he would write these mammoth, tax-heavy documents and put them in an email. And I'd be like, look, like, this is 12 pages in a Word document. Why don't we put that in a PDF and people can click to download it, or we can put it on the blog and people can read it there. Do not send 12 pages in a document to like an email address. You can provide a way for customers to be like, oh, so-and-so's talking about something I find valuable. I'm glad I signed up for this list. What action do I want to take? I want to read it. I want to go to the website. I want to download the PDF. I want the white paper or whatever. Give them a reason to interact and provide on the promise that you asked for. So email bodies are super powerful if you do them right and give people what they're asking for, and remind themselves, like, I am glad I signed up for this. Buttons and emails and images, things like that need to be clear. One call to action. Can your email survive if the images don't load? I've seen a lot of emails before where it loads up. Someone's made this beautiful graphic, and depending on how your settings are, that image doesn't load. Now your email is just essentially a gray blob of nothing. I understand you spent a lot of time in the graphic designs making the email, but you need to understand that if that image did not pop up, could the content of that email still survive? Can you do it? Can you tell a story without? Can you inspire action without an image? You should be able to. Technicalities, a lot of, okay, story time. I've been to several jobs now, where I show up and I'm like, okay, you want me to send this email, but like, we're clearly not GDPR compliant. Several jobs now, and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, what? How are you not GDPR compliant? Like, you have to be. Like, a lot of the platforms, you must. You know, you have to have an unsubscribe link. You have to have the physical address of the business. You have to give them opportunities to opt out. You have to provide like security details and a disclaimer. Like, there's things that you have to provide as a minimum. Like, and now with the California privacy laws in place, and ideally, hopefully, like soon, US privacy laws, if you're not compliant with those, like, people can report you and you can get fined and all sorts of things. Like, understanding how your lists and those laws apply to your emails, you need to be compliant. You have to be, because I've shown up and they're like, well, we don't really know how to do that. I'm like, oh man, like, you have to be. So that's the checklist. Here's the thing that I think is really interesting. Let's say you've gone through this checklist. Okay, that you've made the email, you've sent the email, you're really happy with the email. Open rates are great, click-through rates are great. What are you doing with this particular premise to make it easier for next time? You have to think about that, because if you're producing a lot of emails, you want to simplify the process. And the best thing that you can do, and I'm going to make this really honest, the best thing you can do is use templates, do the pre-work before, know that, okay, I have in my pool of banking, if I have in my bank, I can immediately pull out an event invite, I can pull out a sales email, I can pull out an internal email, I can pull out a reminder or a promotional or an automatic string of emails like a welcome chain. Knowing all of that, how to make it better, how to improve it, that's how you increase your efficiency as a solo entrepreneur, as a solo marketer. Understanding the systems and being like, okay, what pre-work can I do now to save myself 10, 15, 20 minutes in the future? Because every little action that you can remove to clean up things is only going to make stuff going in the future going better. It's going to get better because you've taken the active steps to clean it up now. If you're feeling overwhelmed, like that's a lot, like I just dumped a ton of information on you. If that's too much, I would love to talk to you about how to make things simpler and easier and more straightforward. That's one of the things I love doing. I pride myself in being able to get it done fast because I know how to do it. I know how to remove those barriers. And if you need help with that, I'm happy to do that. Or if you want me to do it, I'm happy to do that too. So reach out to me at compass-tower.com. I'm happy to do anything that you need me to do. Podcasting, live streams, videos, email campaigns, social media, website management, things like that. I'm happy to do and be able to help you anytime. So that's what I have today. If you would like this free checklist guide that I've created, reach out to me, send a comment on my LinkedIn profile or my Twitter profile, send a comment in the contact me section of the website. I'd be happy to send this to you and talk more about what I can do for you.